Hello. So when I'm live, um, there's like pros and well, I've mentioned it before, and if you don't believe in it, then whatever. But when I'm live, I pick up energy, energy that I don't know where it comes from, and it's very scattery. Like and then when I'm shuffling cards or doing anything by myself, I get different messages or whatever versus when I'm live. And I've noticed, and I've said it before, like YouTube people who like I get annoyed when some people like it when their favorite tarot person or whatever is live. I don't like it because even if the people that are watching aren't like commenting and interrupting, it's still like a different, it just comes through differently. So I'm gonna try to do like a 30-40 minute video just with cards. And like I like to take pictures and do the music. I don't really like typing. And and it still it takes like I don't know how to explain like what I feel. So I'm not gonna. So I and I thought YouTube, you have to have a certain amount of followers or something in order to be able to go live anyway. I don't know. I kind of wanted to. So when I was and I don't like going live because then like sometimes I feel like I get bored and I'm like sitting on the bench at Aldi or something. Ooh, I saw Shaq shorts. 10 of Pentacles, Shaq shorts. I think it was him. Looks tall. I remember when you were just yay big. No, it's just you and Shamel, right? So, but whatever, like when I went live one time from Wegmans and I was catching the bus, and all of a sudden I missed the bus. The bus did come early, I guess, but still, it's called coincidences. So, who knows when I upload it? You know what I'm saying? Ooh. But so I keep feeling like this strong. Today, especially today, it was like one of those Kenneth Jordan, Kenneth Jordan, Kenneth Jordan, Kenneth Jordan, Kenneth Jordan, Kenneth Jordan, 2 of Wands reversed. And I don't know how to explain it. I could feel him. Not in a romantic way, just, I don't know, just, sometimes when you can feel someone's energy, it's like they're standing near you and you want to start like arguing with them and you forget they're not there. That's a hard way of, but it's like, oh, what do you want? What do you want? Kenneth Jordan, have you done enough? Haven't you done enough, guys? I mean, and that's the thing, is like my 2 favorite people together again. My 2 favorite people, and it's like, but you're fake, It's like, hey Nika, hey, let me try to finish the job, Nika. Please, Anika, let me try to finish the job, Anika. And it's so hard because I love you guys. But you're not my friends. I ain't got no motherfucking friends. 8 of Wands reversed. Page of Cups reversed. Page of Wands upright. I'm telling you, it's like they don't know what to do because they can't move forward with their Page of Cups reversed. I did still get a really strong feeling like that there's a female, I don't know who, could be one of my kin, but that they're like looking at as a liability, and they're looking at as a liability. And I kept getting a lot. Queen of Wands reversed. I don't know which relative or if it, or who it, but there is a Queen of Wands reversed. Page of Pentacles reversed. That was Seven of Cups that sort of showed itself. Page of Pentacles reversed. Like it's like it's like wanting to talk but can't talk, but it's because they want to finish some sort of job. And it's like, look, it's like Five of Cups reversed. It's like not sorry. Not sorry. Not sorry. Locked the fuck up. Nine of Cups. Or it's like a trap. Nine of Cups. Six of Cups. The Fool. It's a trap. Strength. It's a trap. Yoanika. 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 Three of Wands in the challenge position, as Sharina used to correct me. Because I'd be like, oh, it's Three of Wands sideways. And she'd be like, it's called the challenge position. So that Tracy Adams girl, she came to the Thrifty Shopper today, right? And, I recognized her, and, I was like, there's that bitch, And she was like, hey, I forgot your name. And it's like, Anika. Oh, do you remember me? Tracy. And she's like, oh, I can't seem to find you on Facebook anymore. And it's like, well, I've got 4 of them. But answer this. How can you not remember my name, but you can't find me? Don't you have to type in somebody's name if you're looking for them on Facebook? You'd think, right? But, and if anyone remembers, Tracy Adams is I went to school with her at UE, briefly. I didn't really go to UE, but, she showed up after the fire. Anika, it's me. She wanted my phone number so she could send me links to apartments, but yet she had no money. And she was like, what do you need other than money? And I was like, well, I kind of need money because that's usually how you get an apartment and shit, And, when I told her about my son, she was the one that got the weird grin and was like, they're probably graping him. Oh my God, they're probably. I think that there's this weird, devious thing. I remember when I was telling my sister about James and my cousin Corey Wanko, and I was like, James, it was really disturbing because he was like boasting how he gave Corey the substances that ended his life. And when I said that, my sister, Deanna Ray Berry, was like, wow, like, gee, thanks a lot for offing my cousin, James. And it was just really weird and tacky and sarcastic when it shouldn't be. And it was disturbing. And, and even when you put together like, my Aunt Maria and Uncle Tom, how protective they are over James and the things that James would brag about. Like I said before, that James would brag about, Tommy. And it's, whether it was him or Angela, because she's a piece of work, but may she rest in peace. But, he was like, yeah, and she told him that it would help him focus more. And now he's hooked. And James charged him triple. Do you understand? I don't even remember what it was, but do you understand that he charged you triple? Okay, good. I'm glad you understand that. 8 of Wands reversed again. I keep getting 8 of Wands reversed. something, a Ace of Cups reversed. I'm telling you, it's like a trap. It's a trap. Eight of Pentacles reversed, and it's not working. It's like, but it's like they're trying. This is the thing. The only thing I get is I get a lot of either charmers. Hi, what's your name? Oh, you know, don't I know you? Don't I know you from school? Or I get these, like, you know, pussy ass thugs that'll be like, you know, and sort of smirk and try to say something smart, you know. Or I just get dirty looks, or I get happy looks. Queen of Wands upright. King of Pentacles reversed. Five of Swords upright. Somebody is really pissed off because it's not working and they're losing something. Like, and they want to keep fighting. Four of Cups. Empress. They want to keep fighting. But I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's sad because, you know, it's like there's like this little sliver of I went for the wrong team and I want to tell the truth, but you can't, because you could come and, like, you know, try to scapegoat my daughter or my sister, you know, someone like my sister or something like that. I'm not going to believe you because I don't have, you know, there's so much of this. You failed, and please let me try again, please. Seven of Wands reversed. You failed and they want to try again. No one ever gets mad at me. Like James, maybe James would be like, because James has an attitude and stuff, but in a way, like, if, you know, if I saw Bushrod, you know, ew, I don't know. It's like, it's hard. Ew, why do I feel like I want to cry over Bushrod? But, you know, like, maybe he'd, like, tell me off, but maybe, you know, Angela's not. You know, I wouldn't lie about Angela Bushrod because I don't like her, you know. Judgment. Six of Cups upright. Wasn't there another Six of Cups? No. No. Yes. It's like innocence. Someone's innocent. King of Cups. Someone realizes someone's innocence and they want to fight. There's somebody that but I don't think it's any of them. I think they're all like, there was just even my daughters. It's just that, you know, your mother used to, you have a mother who would text, what is everyone hungry for? You know, there's food that I don't get to eat because it's too, not even just that it's too expensive, but it's just hard for me to make, like, you know, pierogies with sour cream and broccoli and cheese and bacon bits and chives and stuff like that on top of them. They're like my loaded pierogies. And, you know, there's all these different things that, like, my kids would be like, stuff for crunch wraps and pierogies and this and whipped cream and Nutella for the crepes. Mom, we're out of Nutella. And, you know, you're like, your mother gave up school because you were a fucking crying little brat and I didn't like the daycare. I gave up my life so that I could become a daycare, so that I could take care of my spoiled ass fucking daughters. And I kept saying, well, they'll be gone when they're 18 and then I'll be able to give. Jasmine and Aaron never got a real formal birthday. You know how you get a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, McDonald's? Jasmine and Aaron never had that. Do you know why? Because I was a single mother of 4. And because they didn't have friends, because they were like, they had developmental delays, and it, you know, they were picked on so bad in school. So, you know, I kept saying like, well, Julia will be 18 and then she'll move out and then at least they'll be able to have their own room. And then Julia turned 18 and she started boycotting cleaning and, you know, and be like, she was like 10 times worse, not throwing away garbage, being just miserable. Ever since she was held hostage with Bree and came back with her panties all bloody, it was like downhill from that. She, instead of learning from that, she just was even worse. Josephine, then I was like, well, Josephine, she's the normal one, you know what I mean? So Josie, she's a high honor student and, you know, she's going to go away for school. So she'll be gone when she's 18 because, you know, and so they were like worse and worse. They were getting worse and worse, doing the worst, like nastiest. I remember when all them cars with the tinted windows and stuff, and they were all doing that weird shit, and they changed my camera and changed the lock on my basement door. I didn't freak out. Like, I remember looking down and seeing Marlon Julian drilling into the lock. Julia saw it too. Julia told the Endicott police that she saw it too. But I remember looking out my front windows and, you know, and Julia too. And I'm sure that part of that was because that was supposed to be the plan. They need me to react. Oh, Mom, do you see that? Oh, wow. I did not react with, oh my God, they all are out to get me. I was like, ooh, because what I thought that I was being, initially I thought that I was being poisoned and sort of targeted because Jordan, and I mean, and that's why, you know, Jordan is such a liability, because I said it before, Angela, even, there's like messages and stuff, you know, where Angela was like, he's dangerous, he's a psycho, and he would park in my backyard, he would get all weird and jealous, you better get your ass home, blah, blah, blah. But, and a part of that was a cover so that he could have a reason to be parked in my backyard, trying to learn my schedule and things like that, having access to me, you know. But at the same time, it made him look like this abusive stalker boyfriend who is suddenly #1 suspect if anything happened to me. But Hurricane. But when I saw all them cars outside, I was like, I wasn't scared. I was like, oh, there's money involved. So I went from, oh my God, like, and I thought even with Megan, I thought that Megan, and even with Lucky too, because I was like, why are they both trying to like poison me and do weird things, you know? But I still thought it was because Jordan, because he cried. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he was like, I don't know. But that, and even when Megan, because then I overheard Megan, you know, on three-way with Bushrod, and, you know, one minute she was like, oh, I thought Pearl was a girl. And then she was on the phone with Bushrod on three-way, and she was like, Pearl says we have to do this, and Pearl says, and Bushrod is like rolling his eyes and, you know, whatever, you know, and, you know, and she even, you know, she mentioned Pearl, and she mentioned Lucky. That would be Megan, Pearl, and Carmona, or whatever. And 6 of Pentacles. And that's the thing is, when I saw them cars, when I put all those things together, I was like, oh, I'm worth money. And I remember saying to my kids, we're gonna get it. We kids, we're gonna get it. We're gonna finally have our house in the country, guys. And I remember when I was saying that to my kids, that this like voice in the back of my head was like, I don't want the older ones to come, because they're just so miserable. Like I just, you know, you can only take so much of Josie. What do you want? Josie, come on, let's go. You know, I had this vision of having this like house in the country and being like, oh Josie, now we can buy you a car. Come on, do you want mom to take you driving? And her just being like, get out of my face. I hate you. I didn't ask to be born. And, you know, and it hurts, but when somebody treats you like shit, that means they're a piece of shit, not you. You know, I'm a good mom. You're a horrible fucking daughter. 6 of Pentacles, Page of Swords reversed. Somebody's like pocket watching and stalking. And it's like they're over worried about money. Like I even, that's even like a feeling that I get when it comes to my car. I posted, guys, it's not too late. You know, someone would have to help me in one shot because they'll count it against my DSS money and everything. But if one person wanted to donate and give Anika, you know, I don't even know how much it would take to put my car on the road, because I would have to fix it. It would have to pass inspection. Then I would have to get insurance. Then I would have to fix my license. My license is only because I missed a court date because of my house caught on fire. And it was a court date for my registration, which I fixed it immediately. I would have to pay my registration again, because that's going to be up pretty soon. But it's like, you know, the same. So, but this basically putting my car on the road. I remember before my car broke down all the way, I was talking to Leah at Wegmans, and I was like, I want to get out of Broome County. I want to go and sleep in, I want to travel, you know, I want to travel New York State a little bit. I want to go to Ithaca and sleep in the, you know, I was like, the Wegmans in Ithaca, does it have a cafe? She's like, it does. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go sleep over there, because I would sleep at TC3. I would sleep in Dryden, and you know, I mean that, you know, hindsight, you know, $25 for like Planet Fitness or one of those, and there's my shower, and you know, I think the second that I said, hey, if anyone can help me with my car, number one, then I can work and I can leave. And it was like, oh, hell no. So then they like message, we are towing the car. The owner of the building wants it towed. Now the owner of the building wants it towed, right? 7 of Swords reversed. It's like there's no plan. Mask off. Knight of Swords reversed. Like there's no more strategy, and everything that they do is destructive. But all they can think about is money. 5 of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Swords. It's like they want, there's the truth. The truth will prevail, because they want, I mean, that's the thing, is they want me. You know, I mean, like I said, don't you play with my DSS, you know, I mean, it's like, the more I expose them, the more they just try to make me homeless. So the more I say, well, why did you make me get a psych eval? That's like, you're the, no answer for that, right? Instead, I get ghosted. And then I get more raising, you know, the more I say, well, that doesn't make sense, you didn't, you know, you're contradicting yourselves there. Instead of saying, wow, you know what, we're wrong, so that's not gonna work. Instead, they like raise the rent and send it through the US Postal Service, like it's gonna make a difference. Well, now we have a postmarked envelope. So now we can make you go broke even though we fucked you over. And it's like, but you still fucked me over and you're not answering. Hanged Man reversed. Somebody has fucked themselves. Empress. Nine of Wands reversed again. King of Pentacles. Four of Cups reversed. They're rushing. Someone's rushing. They're not taking their time. Three of Cups. They're not taking their time. They're rushing. Three of Wands reversed. Trying to stop something. They're trying to stop some sort of movement of something. But yeah, like, so it's, but there's a big, you know, like, hey, you know what? Why don't you just let people hire her, you know? Which, I mean, what's meant for me is mine. The more I get denied for jobs that I am like overly qualified for, the more I see that I'm meant for more. Like, you know, I can feel like there's somebody that's like literally like wants my brain. Just wants my brain. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what they want, is my brain. Eight of Cups. And I don't even think it's like, be my spiritual advisor, tarot reader. It's like, so, I don't know. It's just something else. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, like I don't sweat it. Ace of Swords reversed. Five of Swords reversed. Four of Pentacles. It's like someone's holding on tight and it's like not. Five of Wands and Six of Wands. Queen of Cups reversed. Like, the more you fight, the more I look good. And you look lame, sort of. And you're just holding on. And then the more lies that you tell, the more lame you look. What is that? Three of Swords. The more lame you look. You know, I said it before, you know, it was like, how bad do you have to be that you have to find out where I enrolled in school, and you can say, oh, you know, this is the thing, the DSM-5, you know, says like, an example of delusional disorder is thinking that your college professor is out to get you. However, when I was in college, I would get random emails that would be like, it was like actors or something. Why don't you learn some responsibility? Teachers that weren't even my teachers messaging me, saying things that made no sense when I was the best student. And then I would get, like I said, I would have to screenshot all of my work because teachers were like claiming that they weren't getting my work. So imagine being a college professor, and even in the spring, like I ended up getting like either an incomplete or an F or something, something like with the writing class, and my writing teacher was fucking ridiculous. And if you think about writing is one of those things that is immeasurable. You know, it's the most subjective class, because like, okay, if I'm learning anatomy and physiology and it's an exam and it's multiple choice, and you know, it's a little bit more objective and factual, even when there's like case studies and things like that. But when you have to write a paper, it's a little bit different, because they can just say like, I don't like how you wrote. And the teacher that I had in, I don't even remember what class it was. Was it just English 110? I had to take classes over because I was coming back to school after 17 years. 3 of Pentacles. But they were, it was like I was so excited to go to school. First, when I had my first online class for anatomy and physiology that was like a Zoom class, James was drinking alcohol and started screaming at me. And I was like, why aren't you just, I mean, he was so horrible. And I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And then I was like, either missing class or logging into class, turning off my camera and tending to him because he was acting like this big 300-pound baby. You're in class and you're looking at the teacher a certain way. And it was all like this pathetic thing to try to get me to not do my work. Imagine that. So, but I still got A both semesters, and he said I was his best student. You know, James went to, you know, he knew how much how passionate I was about school. He would sit in the computer lab at TC3 and wait for me. And if I had a question after class or if I wasn't like the first person out of that classroom, he would be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing in there? And I'd be like, you must be talking to some other niggas. And I'm like, no, I'm just a student. I'm just a college student. Please, James, calm down. But I thought it was so sweet because he went everywhere with me and he was a supportive boyfriend, right? And I mean, you know, and in the fall of 2022, I had to block him at the end, and I got a 4.0. And then in the spring of 2023, I remember every Monday he was more aggressive. Because Monday was the day that I had to drive out of town to go to lab. So on Mondays, he tried much harder, to get me to use substances so that I would not make it to class. I remember one weekend, it was like, I mean, this was bad, and we were doing substances for a while. Like, people want to worry about ice cream. I wasn't like that with ice cream. But with bushrod and bushrod's DOC, it was much different. It's a horrible existence, you know? And I remember one time being like this zombie and looking and seeing that it was Monday and it was like 4 o'clock or something, and I had to get in the car. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea. Nine of Wands, something is coming. Six of Pentacles reversed. And it's like they're still trying to steal something. Or something's coming. I really get this feeling like someone wants to come because they know that they robbed me and they're still trying to make out okay. 3 of Swords reversed. It's like I feel like somebody signed their name on something and they're going to be in trouble that way. But they're also worried, like, because of something financial, too. Ace of Cups, upright. Queen of Wands, reversed. Yeah, I think that somebody is, like, in love with some other person and they're being pushed. Take one for the team. You can do it. You're our hope. 9 of Wands reversed. It's like, it will never work. It'll never work. It'll never work. It'll never work. So why are you doing it? 10 of Swords reversed, 4 of Pentacles reversed. Let it go. I was like, get out of my energy, because I don't really care about this lover boy shit, but it's like, that's what it's like, I can feel like this weird lover boy shit. Like, the smiley, hi, Nika. It's like you tried to delete me, and you know. Remember my pretzels? I remember my pretzels. Where are they? Hold on. Let me pause it. Yes, see these pretzels right here. There's 2 of them. So I think one of them was from either Jamie. I think the ones that Jamie touched, though, those were the $8. I used to buy a big $8 bag from Sam's Club. But I have, smells like. So, hey, Anika, these are my favorite. And, I don't eat Skittles. Lucky Jackson left those in my car, and I thought maybe, those were left as some sort of, like, bait or something. And the sad thing is, like I said, I remember sitting outside of, Bella's. I took him to Bella's before, and he got food, and he had 2 bags of chips, and he had this bag of Doritos. We don't really eat Doritos at my house, but and I remember telling him about my son's surgery, and and all the stuff that my son went through, and how his father didn't, whatever, and he was like all sad, and he was like, give him this bag of chips for me. And I remember giving Aaron a bag of Doritos, I was like, see, Lucky gave me these, because my son didn't have any, like, men in his life other than, groomers, and he ate them, and he was, like, so, like, happy and stuff, and so food is real, food is real low, what I mean? It's real low. It's real low. It's really fucking low. I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh, my substances were tainted. It's like, well, they're illegal. Sucks to be you. Oh, my cigarettes were tainted. Well, that's bad for your health too, Oh, but then, or even like, don't touch mom's pretzels in the pantry. I remember I had this Marie Callender Swedish meatballs frozen dinner, and that was tampered with, and I remember saying, these are mom's, and I put them in the freezer, and then all of a sudden the corner of the plastic was opened, and there were so many things that I didn't save, and I just put right in the trash, because I mean, there's like this mountain of, I remember eating ice from the tray, and it made me sick, and right when my son wanted some, and I was like, no, I told you Jordan broke in. It was the last thing that was said to me. These are my favorites. Bye, Nika. And I think it was meant to, like, like I said, I remember crying to Pearl. I'll never see him again. He was my favorite little person. And all he can think about is, you want this dick. I should have let you suck my dick. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not, that's not me. And no one understands, like, I respect these people. I know that you don't like girls, or you're traumatized, or some fucking weird thing. It's like, I only want people who want me. Temperance reversed. Page of Cups. It's kind of like, it's just like, you're too immature. I don't look, it's like I don't look at any of them like that. Eight of Wands. Judgment reversed. It's like something's getting flipped really quickly. It's been 40 minutes. Okay, bye-bye.